The ongoing divorce between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie has gotten progressively more and more messy, and recently a dark revelation regarding Jolie's ex-husband has come to light that has rocked observers to their core. How did it come to this? Why did the relationship sour so? And what is the specifics of Jolie's countersuit against Pitt? We'll be letting you in on all the details as the video progresses, so be sure to stick around till the end. Where did it all go wrong for Brangelina? It's been over 3 years at this point since Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have been separated officially in court, and now in a new Jolie divorce filing, Pitt has found himself being accused of a very severe crime indeed. It's now being alleged that he is a child abuser. Brangelina, as they were often called, one of the earliest instances of celebrity couples having their names fused as a shorthand, were one of Hollywood's most talked about couples, dating back to 2005, following their featured roles in rom-com action film Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That was where the rumors began to form surrounding the two of them, in spite of the fact that at the time Pitt was still married to Jennifer Aniston. The next year, Jolie officially confirmed them being a couple to the public alongside the announcement of her being pregnant with Brad's child, Shiloh. The two of them would date for years after this and finally were wed together in 2014, a private ceremony which took place in the French vineyard known as Chateau Miraval. While they certainly weren't a May-December romance, after they were finally married, it seemed as though issues began to surface. Headlines about the pair began to turn to the bitter side in the late 2010s and culminated with Jolie filing for a divorce in 2016, citing irreconcilable differences. It took 3 years from there for it to be officially recognized in court. Things would only get more hostile after that, as Pitt went on to sue his ex-wife over the aforementioned property of Chateau Miraval, as she was at the time seeking to sell her part of the property without his approval, which allegedly went against a prior agreement where neither would sell their shares without first getting permission from the other. It's hard to imagine a more darkly poetic way to show that the relationship has turned than the two of them having a legal battle over the site of their wedding of all things. Following several months of back and forth bickering, this suit ended up intensifying this past month as documents in September started to paint Pitt in a more negative light, and now it would appear as though a grim new wrinkle in the case might just be the thing that decides it all, and it stems from a countersuit that Jolie is now filing. What is this countersuit about, and what's this we're hearing about child abuse? According to a report from Variety, indeed Angelina Jolie has filed a countersuit against her ex-husband Brad Pitt over the legal battle over control of their winery, Chateau Miraval, and with it has come some very disturbing revelations that cast the legendary actor in a much more negative light than we've ever seen before. Included in the purported countersuit are details about, and again this is all alleged at the moment, an altercation that is said to have gone down between Pitt, Jolie, and their children during a 2016 flight. Per the story, during an argument, Pitt not only got violent with his then wife, but also went so far as to hit one of his children and choke another. We will now paraphrase for you the wording of the filing, but we must warn you it is quite the detailed accounting of domestic violence, so some of you may want to skip a little bit forward in the video if you're sensitive toward such matters. Per the filing, Pitt demanded that his wife at the time sign a non-disclosure agreement that would prohibit her from speaking to anyone outside of a courtroom of the emotional and physical abuse that he had laid on to her and their children. It goes on to explain that during the altercation, Pitt grabbed Jolie by the head and shook her, then grabbed her shoulders, continuing to shake her, before shoving her into the bathroom wall. It depicts him as being in a total rage as he pushed the ceiling of the plane until Jolie left the bathroom. Then one of the kids spoke up in defense of their mother. The report continues to say that Pitt lunged at his own child and Jolie grabbed him from behind to restrain him. This began a struggle where Pitt threw himself backwards into the plane seats, injuring Jolie's back and elbow in the process. At that point, the children rushed in to try and protect their mother and themselves, and by the time this struggle ended, Pitt had choked one of his children and struck another in the face. It goes on to say that of course many of the children were crying, pleading with him to stop, and being altogether terrified. After this, separate transportation was arranged at the airport. When Jolie went to wake Pitt up to tell him that she and the kids were leaving for a hotel, he once again screamed at her and shoved her. According to an FBI agent who looked into the matter, the government had probable cause to charge Pitt with a federal crime for the way he conducted himself on this day. While only the parties involved and those who might have witnessed this know the truth, the detail and specific nature of this is very troubling, and it makes it fairly easy to believe. My goodness, what else is going on in this countersuit? While the story told in the filing is absolutely terrible, and if true, Pitt should definitely be punished for it, it does seem like a bit unrelated to the suit at hand. However, she's also filed a counterclaim in the Chateau Miraval case specifically as well. As the legal battle has become a progressively hostile war of words, Pitt came under quite a bit of scrutiny when Nouvelle, the former investment company of Jolie, submitted their own cross-suit alleging that Pitt was seeking total control of the winery as a mere measure of revenge over the divorce. as well as detailing Pitt's struggles with alcoholism, which led him to attend AA meetings, which again feels like something of a non sequitur, but I suppose I could see a court wanting to keep a winery out of the hands of an alcoholic. This does not bode at all well for Brad Pitt, to say the very least. This, in conjunction with the citation of the child abuse altercation being part of the former divorce, and the fact that he sought to keep the whole thing under the rug for years as the two of them continued their joint ownership of the French winery, it all just looks terrible. And so the two of them have ended up becoming the latest high-profile celebrity couple to have shocking allegations and incidents throughout their relationship that have since been revealed to the public over the course of a legal battle and a messy divorce. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, of course, dominated the news cycle for a spell, with each of them arguing that the other was the abusive partner in the relationship after they broke up. Ultimately, the courts and much of public opinion ended up siding with the former Pirates of the Caribbean star on this one, with him winning his second defamation lawsuit. But as far as Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie go, we may still be in the early stages of this one, unfortunately. At the moment, Pitt looks about as bad as can be, and we'll just have to wait to see if there's any more revelations or if he tries to make some sort of counter-argument going the other way. It wouldn't be a big surprise at this point if such a thing were to occur, and it would certainly mirror what we previously saw with Depp and Heard. However, we have to keep in mind that there's children involved in this instance, and they are obviously tied directly into the allegations. It's sad to say that they'll likely have to give their side of the story on this in some official form, and one wouldn't suspect that they'd lie against either of their parents. That's likely going to be what decides the fate of both Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in this case. It's a grim story all around, and a relationship that's been completely torn asunder, that's for sure. With this, we want to give you some parting words and tell you to please appreciate those around you who treat you well. Do not take them for granted, and always show patience with them. If you're in a happy relationship, know that you are very fortunate, for many don't have that luxury, and some have it worst of all, being stuck in something truly toxic. Even celebrities aren't free from it. But this is all the time we have for today's video. Do you believe the allegations being made against Brad Pitt are true? Have we been fooled as to his true nature for decades? Do you expect yet more twists and turns to come out of this messy legal battle? Or have we seen the climax of this story already? Be sure to let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and until next time, thanks for watching.